Oh, my goodness. Whoo, it is hot in here. Barclay Goodrow with a game winner. Overtime hockey, just the way Jerry likes it. Can't have CP on, but he is in the comments saying it right here. Hey, 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 hey. And hit those thumbs up. Do it for the show. Got 7 right now, watching 10. Keep it going up here. Rangers win. Jerry, how are we feeling now that it's tied 1-1 going into Florida on Sunday?
I want to show you something.
You can do whatever you want.
Can you see it?
Can you see that? A little.
Can you see what that says?
Just a little. There we go.
It says game one. Okay? Game one. The chalkboard has been erased. Game one's officially in the past. It's behind us. It's over. Tonight, the New York Rangers showed up to play hockey. Tonight was the team that I knew we are. Tonight was the team that everyone knew we are. Tonight's the team that the Florida Panthers knew we are. That too came to play tonight at MSG. And top to bottom, bell to bell, with the exception of like 3 minutes in the first period, foot was on the gas the entire time. And this was a phenomenal hockey game. Another, I don't want to say a boring hockey game because chances were there. It was a low-scoring game. The overtime was probably as classic as an overtime period as you could have asked for. That was just pure high-octane playoff hockey.
Well, they know that you like. They know that you like overtime hockey. So,
yeah, I like overtime hockey, but I do not like 8 p.m. starts. I'm not going to lie to you. Actually, let me rephrase it. I do not like 8:30 p.m. starts. This is starting to get to me. I don't know if I'm getting older or if I've just had the world's longest days on both game 1 and game 2. We'll see what happens for game 3 is at 3 p.m., but game 4, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's how you answer. That's what happens when you get kicked down, knocked down, whatever you want to say, however you want to phrase it. And then you come back with a vengeance and you let people know you're going nowhere and you're going nowhere fast. That's how it is. And I'm so satisfied. Everyone here, I'm sure, PB, I know you were. Chris was literally on the stream. My dad was watching from the train ride home and from the game. Josh, I don't know if you were there. But a good amount of people who were watching tonight were there on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was defeated. It was over. I was ready to jump off a bridge. I don't know if we could say that on YouTube. We might get demonetized. Sorry. But it wasn't looking good. Was not looking good. Wasn't feeling good. I've never felt that low all season long, with the exception of maybe that one run where we kind of went on a hiatus because we had nothing to talk about because we wanted to avoid that feeling. And this is it. This is the team that we knew we could be, and this is how you answer. And, like we kept saying towards the end of the show, last show, we never won an Eastern Conference final, or every time we won an Eastern Conference final game 1, nothing good has happened. And tonight we won game 2. We saw the script from 97. We saw the script from 94. I don't want to say things are going to happen, but that's going to be it. They did not get outclassed, Garbo. Garbage, Garbo. Garbo stands for garbage. Is that what it stands for? Keep crying, dude. A win's a win. It doesn't matter if we got outclassed. It doesn't matter if our power play bailed us out or whatever. We'll get into the X's and O's in a little bit. A win's a win, and you can just sit here and cry all the tears you want to cry. We beat the Panthers. That's all I care about. I don't care what happened. We had quality chances, quality shots. Hats off to Sergei. Too. Yeah. Hats off to Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky, he's human. I'm glad we finally proved that he's human. We got him to give up 1. We got him to bleed. It was Rocky 4. We caught him with the hook. He was bleeding. He bleeds. So we can do what we can do, and we know that we can get him past him, but he's good, and we're going to have to keep working just like we did. And Barclay Goodrow, what a snipe. What a snipe coming in on game of the zone. Did not think that was going to go in. I knew we would get one past him. Didn't think it was going to be a clean shot like that.
Yeah, and I've been saying it all year. A guy was on a milk carton. He's an assistant captain. He was pretty much demoted from like 3rd, 4th line, just kind of hanging around there. Came on for a defensive faceoff. I believe they won the faceoff on that one, or at least just the presence there. Barclay Goodrow was good to go. But yeah, I mean, pretty much what you said. The first period, we were starting off with a bang in the first half. First 10 minutes, hitting people, laying them out, taking shots, out shooting Florida, as you can see here in the final. We pretty much did everything that did not happen in game one, happen in game two. More shots, more hits, pretty much just more everything, more goals. But yeah, I was impressed with this team immensely. I didn't know who was gonna replace Matt Rempe because I didn't hear the pregame, and then when I heard that it was Capo Caco from I believe it was Rick Ferraro, I was like, okay.
I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It sucks. I'm not upset about it. It does suck. I want to see Caco out there, but sometimes you got to shake things up. And
9 hits for Rempe.
Yeah, I want to get into that in a little bit. Rempe played out of his mind and kind of. I don't want to, talk shit to my dad here, but shut my dad right down because all week long he was saying, I don't want Rempe in the lineup. I don't want Rempe in the lineup. He did exactly what he had to do. Rempe knew he had to play a game, and he showed up. He even won a face-off. I thought Rempe played some solid hockey tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go in the chat real quick. Jeremy Berman saying they had to have that game. Absolutely. You cannot be down 2-0 going into Florida. This is a way more experienced team than the Hurricanes. That's for sure. We got Rob in the chat talking about some Rob. Check out his channel as well. He's also with CP for Mets content. Goodrow, that's right. Your dad. Listen, Larry, I had to come on after work, put up my Sean Avery right here just because you said it in the last game. So I had to check that out for you. Of course, my laptop's being a little weird. We got Patty in the chat saying W. Absolutely, Patty. We got Josh Renner in here saying bang. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Happy Friday. How's it going? I believe these are the emojis if you sign up for the CPNY Sports Network. I'll keep saying until it goes into existence. When you sign up for the CPNY Sports Network, you get those emojis. I can't see them, but I'm pretty sure everyone else can see them. I'm just trying to find anybody else in here. Nah, Rempe. Oh, here we go. CP Rempe, the savior. Interesting. But yeah, so
if you want to get the Matt Rempe, did we win the game? I don't care what the power play was. Did we win the game?
All I'm gonna say to Matthew Gabbro is appreciate you being on the show, being a Panthers fan. We welcome all fans. Again, 1-1 going into Florida, so there's nothing really wrong with that. But
he does raise a good point, though. I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about them.
Not going into, but I guess even last round, I felt like it wasn't really there, and things started to kind of go away. And now things are. I'm worried about the power play. Power play hasn't shown up in both games this series, and it wasn't really around last series. I will want to see the power play because we know it can. We know the power play is there. We know what the power play is capable of. I want to see the power play produce a little bit more than what they're doing. They're getting chances, they're getting looks, and it's going to be hard to beat Bob. But also at the same time, like you got to do something here. Another game where I felt like our stars weren't really present. Mika got his bell rung in the first. And I didn't really hear too much of Panarin. Panarin was going to Panarin, and that was that. You're a Bruins fan, dude? Come on.
Oh, that's okay. But, yeah. Continue, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the power play produce more. It's kind of tough. We had a lot of chances tonight in the power play, and just to go 0 for 6 is tough. I don't want to, I want to see more from the people I need to produce. Like if Panarin would have scored this goal tonight and just, got where he had another, that would have been number 5 for game winners, I believe, for the playoffs. That would have been huge for him. Would have been great for Mika. Things that we need, things I want my superstars to do that they just haven't been doing. They haven't really been around, and it sucks. But also, like we've been saying all along, next man up, give me those unsung heroes. Barclay Goodrow to score an overtime winner in the fashion that he scored an overtime winner. Who had that on their bingo card? Certainly not me.
Nah, definitely not me.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tonight was a good game. Tonight, I thought, I don't know where we can come in, and I hate to harp on this guy, but I don't know how we can come in and say the outclass thing. I thought we played very evenly matched hockey all night tonight, like start to finish, with the exception of that one quick where they scored the power play goal in the first, which was a softie. I don't know if you watched the replay. I believe that was a
I
Goodrow penalty too. It was a
Yep,
flop.
I
There was
watched
no
the game at
on
work.
the
Yeah.
call. There was no contact. It looked like to me.
Yeah, that was an interesting interference call on that. Yeah, I kind of questioned that myself. I think they were just trying to give that to the Panthers, but yeah, that was a little weird. I really didn't understand it though.
Yeah, give that to the Panthers, but then also take away our 5-minute major with a very, very clear headshot with an elbow follow through and a windup. That was a ridiculous call on the referee's part. I couldn't believe they took away that 5-minute major because somebody said it on Twitter, and I wholeheartedly agree. If that was Matt Rempe throwing that hit at center ice, he would have been arrested for the JFK assassination and thrown in Guantanamo Bay. And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
He would never set foot on NHL ice again if that was Matt Rempe. And like I just to knock that down to a 2 minutes for interference, like that could have been a game changer. We would have won this game 3-0, I think, if that was a 5-minute major.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to mention if they would have tossed him. Also, while we're on the topic of big hits here, Mikola's a piece of shit, huh?
Dude, he had a
I didn't
wild
even
hit.
see the hit he threw at Hedel at the end of the game on Wednesday, just because I was so done on Wednesday and we didn't even talk about it. But even tonight, he was out there. He was headhunting. Like, it's just, first of all, where was that energy last year, buddy? Like, come on. I don't remember you ever having any sort of mean streak to you on the Rangers. And second of all, like, just play the game. Stop trying to hurt people and stop trying to throw these, dumb hits that are just, I'm not a fan of his style of play right now. He's currently my enemy number one. I think everybody else on the Panthers is playing pretty solid hockey. Sam Reinhart looks great. Kachuk's playing he's not, I thought he was going to be a handful, and he's playing good hockey, but he's not what I thought we were going to be going against. I thought he was going to be like an absolute, like a Marchand type deal, just an absolute pest of a player. And luckily for us, he hasn't really been in our hair all that much as far as all that, dirty stuff would go. He's just playing stand-up hockey, so salutes to him. And it's just, now I'm pretty confident that things are going to go 7. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I called on the 5-hole. I believe I said it last game. Check that episode out as well. Even though everyone was down, I was like, hey, listen, it was 7 games. It's still going to be a good series. Definitely showed out tonight. I actually thought after the Zibanejad hit that happened, I believe was the first period.
Was that from behind?
It
looked like it was
like
from behind
side type. For me, I couldn't really figure out which side. I just saw the replay of it, and I was like, "Ooh, jeez!" But I thought we were going to be dead in the water because it didn't look like after the first 10 minutes we were aggressive. It just looked like the Panthers just kind of hitting us around. We were kind of just taking the lumps, and I was like, "All right, well, we bring in Matt Rempe, but I haven't really seen too much yet." And then lo and behold, he had 9 hits tonight. He has some pretty good hits too, but I'm just glad that we actually got physical against this team because his team almost reminds me of the 2014 Kings, where they had the most hits in the that playoff run. So
Not
I was
to
like,
mention,
oh my goodness.
every time I hear Rodriguez's name, I think it's who scored the overtime goal to win the cup.
Ugh, Alex Martinez.
Yeah, every time I hear his name, I think it's him, and I get PTSD.
Yes, yeah, I hate that guy. He's on Vegas right now.
He's on Vegas, yeah. On what you're saying, Aaron, to highlight Josh Renner's comment, I can't bring it up, but if you want to throw that most recent one on the screen, I'm okay with it. And
yeah,
was it great to see that happen after we score and see them be the aggressors? No, not really. But like you said before, we bring in Matt Rempe into the lineup for this reason. You saw it tonight. 51 hits speaks for itself. That's a lot of body checks being thrown. We answered the bell. There wasn't necessarily any glove dropping. I think There was a little bit of a skirmish after the hit on, was it Roslovic or was it Wenberg?
Wenberg.
It was Wenberg.
Yeah,
After the
Wenberg
hit
got
on,
like
he got
flattened.
bell rung. After the hit on Wenberg, there was a bit of a scrum. I would have liked to see some gloves tossed and punches thrown, but the aggressiveness is being matched there, and that's exactly, we had to come out and play with a mean streak tonight, especially after the way we were just flat and dead on Wednesday. This is what I want to see, and I'm happy I saw it. I literally have no complaints other than the fact that these games, I want to go back to a 7 p.m. start, man. I'm tired, and I don't know
No,
if it's
I
because
like
after
8
both
p.m.s.
games, I don't know if it's because I've been out in the sun. Today I went to the beach. I got to stop going out in the sun on game days. Although I will say this, I texted the group chat. I listened to Eye of the Tiger. I was sitting at the beach with my girlfriend this morning, put in my headphones. I put on Eye of the Tiger on repeat, and it was just playing over and over again. Listened to it 5 times, staring at the Long Island Sound, just dialed in like I was getting on the ice tonight, thinking about what the game plan was going to be and how we're just going to go out and dominate, and that we did. They played the exact style of hockey I want to see tonight, and it reinvigorated me. I feel so much better now. Like, I feel like I just got bathed in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, it's just, this is a whole new series. You saw me erase the chalkboard like I said we were going to do. And now things are just, now there's just, it's a completely new series now. We're going into Florida tied 1-1. Would it be nice to go into Florida up 2-0? Yeah, it would be. But that's not what the script is written for. And if we're following what's going on here, if we can go into Florida and split in Florida and come back to MSG, pick up Game 5 and maybe win it in Sunrise, Florida, in Game 6 on June 1st, I'd be one happy camper. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, and I saw this comment right here from your dad. I think I know what he's talking about. 2-0 in East Conference Finals 2 years ago. I was a little nervous if we did go 2-0 in that, just because it seemed like we were definitely out of gas in the Gerard Gallant era. And this
100%.
team does not look gassed at all.
But
I
this
think
is
it's
what I
because
was
we
talking
had
about.
Washington and then the 6 games with Carolina. Yeah.
We played good teams, though. That's the one. I mean, everyone's playing good teams. It's not like the NBA, where if you look at the Celtics have a cakewalk into the Eastern Conference Finals in the NBA, where they didn't really play anybody, and the Pacers ran the gambit. Granted, they played 2 hurt teams, but the Pacers ran the gambit. So now Celtics are kind of fresh going into a Pacers team that's broken down. But we're not here to talk about the NBA. You could turn to talking Knicks with CPNYSports for that, even though I'm pretty sure he's done for the season. But last on Wednesday, all I said was Lavi needs to go into practice yesterday and make the adjustments that he is going to make, and that he did. We came out, we said we need to be more aggressive. They got aggressive. We said they need to shoot the puck more. They shot the puck more. We said that we need to kind of change up the style of play here and figure it the hell out, and that's exactly what we did, and that's what makes the difference between the Laviolette Rangers and the Gerard Gallant Rangers, or even if you want to look back at the who was who coached that Eastern Conference Final team? That wasn't David Quinn, right?
For which one?
The 21.
Was it? Yeah, it had to have been. It had to have been.
Because Gallant was only there for a season.
He was there for the 2 years, and we went to Tampa, and then we lost the Devils last year with them. And then
I didn't know he was there for 2.
Was it Alain Vigneault?
No, it wasn't Vigneault.
No, because he was only up to 2015.
Because we had Quinn for 3 years.
Yeah, I think his last year we made it to the playoffs with them and lost. But yeah, I mean, I just enjoyed with this one. Like, the Trocheck goal was nice. Adam Fox getting an assist on that. I thought I would have been laughed with the assist on that as well.
Me too.
But I think he just got the steal of the puck. I don't remember. But I just like to, because I'm looking at here for the shots. We have guys that aren't superstars, like Will Culley, 4 shots tonight. Panarin had 3 shots. His last few games, he's had at least averaging 2 shots. Trocheck
one of these
4.
needs to go in. I need Panarin to get on the board, just for my own sake of being.
He did get an assist. Did he get an assist? So
okay. I wouldn't hate a goal, though. I would not hate a goal.
No, I wouldn't hate it
either. Again, we can sit here and talk about how we're being outclassed and outplayed to the cows come home, But I'm going to tell you exactly what I told you when we played Carolina or even the Capitals, because a lot of people were saying we got outplayed by the Capitals a couple of times. What was the score?
What
was the score? What's the series? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We don't need to dominate. All that matters is what happens at the end of 60 minutes, or in this case, what, 72, 76 minutes, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. A win's a win's a win's a win. If it's dirty, if it's clean, if it's whatever, doesn't matter. This is the playoffs. All right?
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
We got Dimitri in the chat, though. Very positive right here. Gotta love the North and South play. Lots of dump and chase action. Yeah.
Garbo, to answer your question, people were saying that we are heavily reliant on our special teams in the Cap series as well as the Kane series. It wasn't much of a 5-on-5 domination as we, as everybody. The 5-on-5 play conversation has been at the forefront for the entire length of the playoffs, in my opinion.
Even in the regular season, but
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to look here in the chat because a lot of people in the chat. And again, we try to answer as much comments, questions you can throw in the chat. I'm doing the best I can here.
Is VZ hurt?
I didn't hear anything, but if Michael Rotolo knows, it could be true.
Yeah, please elaborate on that because I saw some rumblings on Twitter today where people are up in arms about Kakko getting scratched and saying it should be VZ. And I disagree with that. I think Jimmy VZ has been playing phenomenally. Maybe I'm watching different hockey.
The penalty kill. He's been good with the penalty kill.
There's a place for everybody.
So less like shooting or scoring, which I guess fine. But if he is hurt and Michael Rotolo says yes underneath it, I would put Edstrom on this fourth line because it's, again, a bigger body. We know that this Panthers team is going to get aggressive. And as Paul Maurice said in the first period, nobody got arrested yet. So I would try to get Edstrom in here. I don't really like Brzezinski. I feel like he kind of hurts us more than helps us, if that makes sense.
If they bring in Edstrom, I think they should throw him in alignment Rempe and run the Twin Towers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think Edstrom in that fourth line would be good because that fourth line has played against the Panthers in the regular season when we won that overtime game.
Yep.
On ESPN. Yep. So I would be okay with that. I
could see that.
He's motivated, but is he? Is the question. I know Philip Hedl was motivated. That's for sure.
Hedl had a great game tonight.
Was he first line? Because I kept hearing too. They were thinking of putting him on first line. Okay, because I didn't watch the pregame or listen to the pregame show, so I assumed he went to the first line. Roslovic went to the third because they were thinking about that a lot today, which is kind of interesting.
Hedl, we talked about it on Wednesday. This was a different Hedl than we got on Wednesday. Hedl, I felt like on Wednesday was playing cautious hockey, afraid to take a hit, afraid to get in the mix, worried about getting injured again. And again, I will agree with what I said on Wednesday. It makes sense because Hedl has a career in the NHL. It's not like he can put his, concussions are no joke. They can literally end your career. They almost ended Sidney Crosby's career. He missed like a season and a half, all those years ago. But tonight, man was in the mix. Man, he was getting after it. He was throwing bodies. He was taking shots, on net, not like to the body or anything like that. And just this was the type of hockey that we need to see.
Yeah, exactly. Especially against this team. We got CP in the chat. Says Wildslaw is fired, gents. Yes, shout out to CP. I tried to do layouts, but I'm not as great as him. So this is all CPNYSports right here.
Not to make this about anything else but the New York Rangers tonight, because obviously we were stars of the show. But I disagree with your Crosby is washed, Josh. I disagree with that. I still think Crosby is the best two-way hockey player in the NHL.
He didn't have a career year this past year, but he definitely
he had a very good season.
Bad team.
Yeah, he did everything he could to keep those Penguins in the mix, and they were until that 82nd game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of, I'm gonna add him on the stage here.
There he is.
CPNY Sports Network here. I was talking in the chat a little bit that he wanted to get on, but he found a way, just like the Rangers tonight in overtime.
Let's go, Rangers. Let's go.
All right. So me and Jerry have been talking for a little bit, CP. So what were your thoughts on this game?
Listen, I don't have any thoughts on the game. I'm going to be here for a brief minute, and I'm going to just let you all take the show. Y'all are doing a great job. Let's go Rangers. Series tied. Rempe, was he the answer? Was he not? We don't know. Post game, obviously, last game was a little bit of a question mark there, but let's go Rangers. That's it. That's all I got to say. Appreciate you all. Thank you all for being on here.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
And make sure before CP leaves, you can get those emojis if you subscribe to CPNYSports Network and put that into existence. So check that out. I believe it should be in the description. If not, it's on the channel. So yeah, check that out. And I appreciate all 84 people in the chat.
Yeah,
make
thank
sure
you guys
that
for tuning in. I know it's late. We appreciate
especially
it.
at 12 o'clock in the morning. I will take that. And again, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, do everything in the bottom right-hand corner. Do everything for the channel. Appreciate everyone on here. And don't forget, too, Sunny Days Jerry is not just some guy off the street. He's on Sunny Days Media 516. Check them out on YouTube and
Yes, sir.
Twitter as well. We got David Ryan in the chat. What a shot by Goodrow. Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning of the show. Definitely a good shot by Goodrow. I'm just glad it's off the milk carton. That's all I really care about.
Yeah, but that's what we were talking about, man. When you least expect it, these people are going to come through, and that's the playoffs for you. That's all. That's how it works.
I've been preaching it for 2 rounds.
Who had Stefan Matteau scoring a double overtime game 7 winner in '94?
I was 1 year old, so it wasn't me.
Well, I wasn't even alive, but I'm just saying, it's people like that. And, if this goes on, granted, this wasn't nearly as important as a game 7 double overtime winner, but this is the type of stuff that gets remembered forever,
Exactly. And I think with Rempe in the lineup, as Patty says it right here, big difference in the energy.
Tenfold. And big difference, highlight was in the building. And it's been an all season long at this point for whatever reason, and I guess I can kind of understand it. He's a cult hero. MSG loves Matt Rempe. Whenever he touches the puck, whenever he's on the ice, they are chanting his name. They want to see more, 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 and hopefully they just keep getting him. I mean, I don't want to say I think he needs to stay in the lineup after this. Maybe not permanently, or even get that much ice time, but just be available and ready to go. Someone on Twitter said it best. It's like having him in the lineup poses a threat to the Panthers that they need to entertain. It gets in their head a little bit because when this 6'7" goon comes out on the ice, what is he going to do? What is he looking for? How can we make sure, A, he doesn't hurt anybody, B, stop him and contain him, because he can be dangerous. He had a couple shots tonight, and like you said, he had 5 hits. He's in the conversation. 9 hits. He's in the mix always. So, it makes the Panthers think on their toes and kind of messes up their trap gameplay, which again, we didn't really see tonight as bad as I thought we saw it in game 1. Thank God. I thought we were able to keep our foot on the gas pretty steadily and make some stuff happen. They just have a cyborg in net named Sergei Bobrovsky.
And shout out to Sergei Bobrovsky. We actually broke his 12-game playoff OT win streak. So I will definitely take that.
That's huge. Yeah.
That's very huge. And I think it kind of, like we just talked about earlier too, it kind of takes a chink out of his armor.
A little bit. And I mean, yeah, he'll probably be a little bit motivated on Sunday because they'll be in Florida. But I just love how they said that. They said that Goodrow scored 30 seconds later. You don't say stuff like that, but again, ESPN doesn't know how to broadcast hockey and understand superstitions, despite saying things like, I'm too tired to even think of hockey lingo right now. But we all know those commercials, those FanDuel commercials where they pretend to talk puck and understand everything, and ESPN does the same thing, and it's just really annoying. But it's just
can we get Kevin Weeks back? He was great with Messier, and then they want to bring in PK Subban. And I'm gonna say this kind of mini rant. When we're talking about Madison Square Garden, PK Subban, can we not mention the Montreal Canadiens in anything that has to do with the stadium vibes? Like Messier was like, "Oh, there's no better place than the Garden," and you want to go, "Oh, I don't know, the Montreal Canadiens." Like, what?
I hate to agree with him, but he raises a good point. The Bell
but
Center,
I'm just saying, come on,
the Bell Center is something to behold.
Well, they're not in the playoffs, so
no, they are not. I will say this, though. I'll never give him the credit, but whoever called the game tonight leaps and bounds better than Sleepy, whatever his name is from game one and the rest of
McDonough.
the play. Yeah, horrible. He is. I said it on Twitter. I've had more energy after chugging NyQuil than watching his games and just listening. And my girlfriend's like, he's doing his best. I'm like, no, well, his best is not good enough. I'm sorry. Like, my dog can call a better game than he can call. And the guy tonight, shout out to him. I didn't know who he was. My dad said it turns out he's the Jets radio announcer, diehard Fish fan, so he's cool in my book. And he, was it the greatest broadcast in the world? No, it wasn't, because Ray Ferraro is still there, and so is Emily Kaplan. But
Can we somehow pay Pierre LeBrun somehow?
Do that. Bring back Gary Thorne.
Anything,
Get Doc out of retirement. Do something here. Do something. And I think, hopefully they change up the mix after this, because it's not just me yelling at clouds here. I feel like ESPN's piss poor coverage of the NHL playoffs has been at the forefront, much like the Fanatics jersey situation here going on with baseball and in the NHL. So I'm hoping that they hear the comments and try to figure this out and make some changes going into next year, because I think they have the NHL for like the next 10 years, unfortunately.
Yeah, bring Chris Chelios back too. He was on there last year, and then they got rid of him.
Definitely.
I have no idea why. He's on the pre and post game. Chicago Blackhawks.
Ring of Honor. Ranger. Chelios was a Ranger.
Yeah, I think he's near the tail end though. But I know him mostly as like a Blackhawk and Canadian.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Speaking of panels, I mean, this has nothing to do with tonight, but I did see Gretzky was on the panel for TNT yesterday for the little bit of the game that I caught. So that's cool to see him back.
It's usually him. He's even doing the regular season. It's either usually him or Hank that are doing. They always switch
I just
off.
feel like I haven't seen him at all during the playoffs. So if he's coming on for, I guess, the conference finals on, I guess that makes sense, just so he doesn't have to grind out the entirety of the playoffs, because he's Wayne Gretzky. So I guess that makes sense, and I'm just happy. The guy, I think he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna wrap up a little bit. So before we go, hit that like, subscribe button, comment, bottom right hand corner. Again, I worked a little bit of extra overtime today at work, and the Rangers won overtime, so I will definitely take that. Make sure you follow Sunday's Media 516 on YouTube and Twitter. Good stuff out there. Football season is approaching, so they do about 2 shows a week. If it's still doing that, great
That's the
stuff.
plan, baby.
Yep, and then obviously, since you're on the channel, anyone who watches the replay, make sure you follow CP on everything. Great graphics, does Met stuff. He's on the Blue Shirts banner with us. Nick stuff, all that jazz. I appreciate all 82 people in the chat. Appreciate Dave Ryan, CP, Michael Rotolo, Josh Renner, Modine, Dimitri, Patty, Larry, as always. Love it, especially he was at the game tonight, right?
No, he was at game 1.
Only game 1. Okay. Bobby Beans. He's not in the chat, but shout out to Mason. He was at the game today. I saw that on his Twitter. DeBenzo, Matthew Gabbro, Jeremy Berman. I was talking mess with Rob. Check that out as well. His stuff. Patty. But yeah, final words before we go, Jerry.
Final words before we go. Great effort, great win. Love to see it. Big time. Now we have the energy back. Now we're kind of, the slate's clean. Going into Sunday, I'm a little nervous. I'm not nervous for the team. Excuse me. I'm nervous for myself.
Yeah.
Sunday, I have a wedding, and I am currently 0-2 at weddings. I was at a wedding for game 4 of the Kane series. Yeah, game 4 of the Kane series. And I was at a wedding for game 6 of that 2021 Eastern Conference final. And both times they lost. But the bright side is this game's at 3 p.m. The church is at 1:30. The wedding doesn't start till 7:30, so there's going to be some downtime. So I'm not going to be physically at a wedding for a game. I'm going to be in a bar with a belly full of chicken wings and beer, and hopefully that changes the vibe a little bit. We'll see what happens. I think game 3, I think I want to win game 3 and have no problem dropping game 4. I think if we can ride the coattails of this momentum swing, get another one, and then they'll probably answer back with game 4. I think we'll be in good shape going back to the Garden tied up 2-2. But we'll see what happens. But moral of the story is The team that played hockey tonight needs to be the team that shows up on Sunday, and it needs to be the team that shows up moving forward forever. Or not forever, but for the remainder of this playoff run, because this is what we need to see, and this is how we're going to beat this team. This Panthers team, as we know, I'm not saying anything new here. They are very, very, very good at hockey, top to bottom. They're physical, they're tough, they have fantastic goaltending, and they know how to play the game. And once they have you, they're like spiders. Once you get caught in their web, once they get you right where they want you, they're just going to keep you there. We saw it on Wednesday. So if we can just throw off their game and play like we played tonight with our foot on the gas pedal the entire time, we won't really have too much to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of the same sentiments here. Again, I think it's still going to go 7. This is a tough match.
Yeah.
I think if we had the Bruins, it probably would have went 5 or 6. But no, this is definitely going to be a tough matchup. I just like how with Pierre Lavalette, we have the energy to come back into the next game and just not, I guess you could say dominate tonight. Straight dominate from head to toe, clean up the mistakes that happened in game 1. Our energy was a lot higher. Matt Rempe is in. Maybe he's the answer. Maybe he's not. We had a lot of comments off game 1 saying that Rempe's not the answer, blah, blah, blah. Appreciate everyone in those comments. But he definitely brings a good value. And hopefully they keep him on that 4th line, keep him going, have at least 10 minutes. Sean Avery said it on the Big Blue Chew podcast. Check them out as well on Spotify and all that. Johnny Lazarus and all them. He was saying that you need guys like a Matt Rempe in this lineup, especially at Madison Square Garden, going against teams like this, because I feel like this team is a little bit better from 2 years ago, and we're a lot more healthy. And yeah, so I'm going to stop babbling on, and obviously, let's go Rangers, and we will see you all for games 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. I don't know, but we'll be here.
Where to find
we'll be here right after every game, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button in the show. Good night, Patty. And again, check out the CPNYSports Network, subscribe button, get all those emojis and all that everyone else has. But yeah, that's going to do it. Let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers.